everybody. Welcome to Cruise Shop Safe. I'm Melissa and I'm so excited because we have Laura here from Caribou Crossings all the way from Juneau, Alaska. Hey, Laura.
Hey, everybody.
And we're here with Jason Bridge, who's in Nottingham. How are you, my love?
I'm wonderful, thank you. I'm so thrilled to see you both, and especially to see the lovely Laura. It's wonderful. What a treat.
I know. I'm so excited when Laura said yes, because Laura, you're super busy this time of year, aren't you?
Yes, and it feels really good to be busy. It's like the best feeling to be so busy. But yeah, we have Alaskan artists are sending us all of our inventory every day. We're switching it up and adding things to the store, and it's snowing. So
oh my God, it's snowing.
Alaska. Yeah, so it's good. We'll start early in the morning, and then I can let everyone in. They'll be banging down the doors here.
Really? Oh my God. I can't believe it's snowing. When did it start snowing?
Just last night. So we had last night, you guys will remember this. We had an aurora forecast for the Northern Lights. It was level 7, which never happens. And it was clear. And so it was beautiful Northern Lights show last night. And then everybody woke up this morning to a blanket of snow. So
that's magical.
Magical. I'm so excited. And Jason, you're in Nottingham. How's things
Yes, the
there?
snow might have to be on my jumper.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even have snow on my jumper.
I know. We haven't had a white Christmas in England in, over 10 years.
Yeah.
I'll send you some.
Oh, please send us some. Please send us some. So what's been going on? I mean, obviously, so we're here doing this show because obviously we've missed cruising. We haven't been cruising since March. So we just thought we'd bring everybody a taste of cruising and kind of check in with all the destinations. So all of the summer, I'm led to believe that there was no cruise ships to Alaska this year, right, Laura?
No, it was heartbreaking. It was the first time in my 36 years that we've had no cruise visitors and no guests. And I was telling, just before we got started, I was telling you both, I'm used to speaking with everybody all day long and sharing these experiences with everybody every day and riding that energy. And this year it was very quiet. In here, talking to the dolls, the Alaskan dolls.
So tell us what you are. You are the owner and operator of the amazing Caribou Crossings in Juneau. It's iconic, and we've been going there for years. And you've been looking after tourists for how long?
25 years for me. 25 years. And it's and as you both know, getting to share these experiences every day, you get to share in this experience of people seeing Alaska for the first time or for the 100th time. It doesn't matter. It's everybody just is kind of walking around with this awestruck joy, and getting to be a part of that for 25 years has been incredible, especially because this is my home. And so it's extra special for me because I'm so proud and I was born and raised here. So when I get to see the effect, I call it the Alaska effect, every single day. And I mean, it doesn't get old. I live here and I still get the Alaska effect every day on the way to work. And so getting to be a part of that every day and sharing in that with people and then sending a piece of that home with everybody has been such an incredible joy for us and our whole local staff and all the artists. We represent almost 70 Alaskan artists. Yeah, 65 or 70.
Wow. Yeah, because 2019, you were up in Alaska, weren't you, Jason?
I was, and my first Alaska was 2005. So I've had 3 seasons there, and I can tell you, Caribou Crossings has always been a home away from home for me. So I worked as a port and shopping guide, and it was always Juneau could be really frantic, but I love craft, and I love art, and I love individuality, and I just fell in love with Laura. And not to mention the kettle corn. I remember the first time I ate your kettle corn. You can tell I'm such a complete. We used to call it our crack. They used to be waiting for me on the gangway when I came back, and they're like, "Where's the corn? Where's the corn?"
You can smell it when you pull into port. You can smell the corn.
My first Alaska season, I put on 40 pounds. I was living on kettle corn, whiskey, and fudge.
And smoked salmon.
Oh,
I wasn't as healthy as the smoked salmon. I was just all for those delicious sweet things. But I remember sitting down with you and you talking to me about fossilized walrus bone and the carvings and the different materials that were used. And I mean, I come from a jewelry manufacturing background, so I love that you represent all these different artists and all these amazing mediums. I always come away inspired and energized, and then just coming out and being able to look across the sound and just the magnificence of Alaska. It's so humbling, and to me, I'm quite a spiritual person, so it just brings me I love it. So privileged to have been.
I
And
know.
privileged to know you, Laura. And I met Melissa for the first time in Skagway. That's when I first met Melissa. So yeah, because you've lived it.
Well,
Yeah.
and these connections become so special because it is an experience that only the people who have been here and done this, we understand what that feels like. And these connections in these little small communities, especially when you're coming through on a cruise ship, and this is just like a little bit of home where you can kind of touch base.
Yeah.
There's something really special about those connections. And as people come and go, and I see people coming through on Facebook, and I'm with Melissa, chatting with Melissa, it's just a treasure for me because I grew up here with you guys in this store. I mean, I was 15 when I started working here.
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like Alaska is my second home. I mean, I lived there for a year and a half, and I go back every summer. I didn't this year, and I genuinely missed going there. There's something very genuine about the people. You can travel to lots of different places, but you find something very heartwarming and genuine and welcoming when you cruise to Alaska. And it has everything. Alaska to me has everything. It has the diversity, the scenery, the tours are exceptional. Some places you go, tours are a bit flat. Depends what you want. Beach holiday. Or, well, there is beaches in Alaska. You just might not want to.
I do, but most people don't.
People always think Alaska's cold year round, but it's glorious in the summer, and these days that just go on and on. I remember the first time I saw Mendenhall Glacier, and we drove through that fireweed. Do you call it fireweed? That hot pink. We call it the wild rose herb here in England. I think it's sort of related. And I just had this miles of pink, hot pink fireweed, and then the glacier in the background, and the space, and then the eagles, and love it.
And the sky. When you talk about sweet things, it's funny because I always catch myself using sweet words to describe Alaska. When the sky is like cotton candy pink, or it looks like a roll of sweet tarts, it turns purple and then green and then pink and then blue again. And right now it's like the marshmallow winter for real. Like we're just living in a giant snow globe of marshmallows and powdered sugar all the time when the snow dusts on the mountains. And I catch myself using food to describe most things. But the experience feels like when you're in it, and it's so expansive, and it's like the only words sometimes that come to mind is it's just fluffy like cotton candy.
It is a beautiful place
because of its access, because you can really only access Juneau by boat, can't you? So it's really magical to sail into Juneau, and I love the waterfront and the promenade, but you really can make that connection with wild spaces. I was having a chat with Melissa a while ago, and my great-great-grandfather trapped fur in the Yukon. And he came, so I mean, the first time, so it's strange because I grew up in the middle of Central Africa, but I still find I've got that connection there. But I love the sailing and going up Mount Roberts, and because I'm such a rock hound anyway, I mean, then there's all the history with the gold panning, and this last season I did lots of lectures on the history and origins and foundation. It was just wonderful. It's just so
striking when I hear you describe that, because we're tucked in a fjord, and so our little tiny downtown street, it's giant mountain, little tiny channel that's very deep, and then another giant mountain, and there's about this much space in between, and that's where we are right here. So if you can see behind you, you both know, there's a little strip of water behind me where the ships can come and go. It's a really deep water port, and then a giant mountain again right behind that. So everything is so extreme. It's like very deep water, really high mountains, and then a bunch of glaciers smashed in between. But everything about Alaska is that way, isn't it? You know, the king crab are the size, you know, bigger than your head, and salmon are bigger than me, and everything up here is just extreme.
Yeah.
I remember Eric being trapped in your old offices there in Juneau because a mother bear come up onto the. Do you remember you had a balcony at the back of the Juneau location?
Yep.
And Mother Bear came up, was sitting there, and he couldn't go home.
Yeah.
But she was.
Oh my God.
Yep. That's she was sitting on the stairway, you know, to exit the balcony or to get around the building to get back to the street. And there was a mama bear and I think 2 cubs. And that happens a lot. And you're just on Alaska time at that point. It's like.
I've seen, I saw it. It was in. Oh, my brain's left me. What do you? It's that tiny. Oh,
Haines.
It's near.
Is it Haines?
Haines, yeah. And I remember I had to get away from. Well, when you work on a ship, having that opportunity to go somewhere and be really, really in nature is really special because you don't get that in many other locations anywhere in the world. To be honest, often you just I love the Caribbean, but I mean it's hot and it's can look a little the same. But I went for a walk and I remember I was just sitting quietly and then I just sat for 20 minutes and I saw 5 or 6 brown bears and then along came the cubs and it was
wow. I have a little picture, I think. Probably not of this. I mean, this is a very common sight, isn't it, in Alaska? That's, you know, Ketchikan's got that famous, I know we're here talking about Juneau, but Ketchikan's got that famous salmon run, doesn't it, in July?
Yeah, on Creek Street.
Creek Street, that's it. Yeah. Creek Street, yeah. But Juneau is famous for the Mendenhall Glacier, you know, that's really close by, and Mount Roberts. You can go up on the tram. And everyone missed out on that this summer. Like, I feel like millions of people really missed out on the gift that is Alaska. And I really hope that I get to go back next summer. Or if people are out there and they miss their cruise, just book again because you get so many great deals with cruising at the moment. But you have not been idle, have you, Laura? You've been working on something.
I have. So that is exactly, Melissa, the missed connection that the pandemic created for everybody. It was disappointing for all of our visitors, but it left a hole for me. It was like this huge hole of connection that I'm used to having and that I get to have when I am sharing these experiences with everybody. And so it was the perfect opportunity to finally do something that I've wanted to do for years and start a subscription box that I could load up with all of my very favorite pieces of Alaska. Because, you know, for 25 years, I keep a little folder and I keep a list of all my favorite artists and all my favorite vendors and all my customers' favorite artists. And so this was my chance to throw it all in a box and send it across the world and let everybody not just see, you know, I know we're so connected and I'm so happy that we live in an age where we get to have webcams and we can still see each other, but to actually be able to touch something and smell something and taste something and really feel something and be connected in that way. That is what I wanted to provide people, and also to provide myself with that connection again, because I just have missed everybody so dearly. It's like filling this void for me too.
Yeah, I agree. Well, what's it called?
So it's called, it's a very clever name. It's called the Alaska Box. Wait, where am I here? And you know what's interesting is in each box starts, when you open it, it starts with the Sawyer Glacier, which I know you'll both be familiar with.
Yeah.
But the back is loaded with all the information about what's tucked inside the box, and then all the different artists and their stories and what they represent, and then information about how you can get more, because you will be bound to fall in love with what's in here. And so you open the box and it's like, there's Alaska right there.
Yeah.
First thing. And then as you dive into it, these, so that this is one of my favorite items actually that I was able to secure in the box. They're made by a local artist here in Juneau. He's a Tlingit artist, and his name is Rico Worrell. And we are so proud of him this year. He has his own postage stamp, a United States postage stamp, which just happened because he's such a treasured Alaskan Indigenous artist. And so these are killer whale fin earrings that are exclusive just for the Alaska box, which is a huge honor for us and for me, because he's kind of like one of our famed artists here in Alaska. And then as you kind of get in there, you get, there's some Alaskan made chocolates with birch coffee syrup that it's like I shouldn't even have boxes of this around me all the time. This is, Jason, what do you mean? This is dangerous.
It is.
Oh, they take birch syrup from the birch trees in Talkeetna, and they make toffee out of it and then put it inside Alaskan chocolate.
Oh, send it to me.
I will. You'll get it. And then, you guys will remember and love. This is kind of our essential, even for me, especially in the wintertime when things are dry and cold. It's called a glacial facial, and it's a mud mask made from glacier silt.
Amazing.
So mineral rich. I mean, there's nothing better from nature that you can just put on your skin to completely rejuvenate it. So you have a little bit of a glacier for your glacial facial spa night. And then this one too. This is probably one of my very favorite. This is either a beach bonfire or Alaskan Christmas. These candles are made here in Juneau with soy and essential oils. And it's like you're sitting on the beach right now with the spruce trees and the ocean and the bonfire. It's just a sensory experience that, you put your face right here when you're digging through. It feels like you're here. It feels like you're there. And
amazing.
It's been, the biggest surprise and actually the biggest compliment for me since this is brand new. This is the very first one, just started going out this December, is how many Alaskans are ordering the Alaska box.
Really?
Yeah. Alaskans that have moved away and couldn't come home, or Alaskans that even live here, but just love the selection and want all the very best of the little goodies because they know Caribou Crossings and they know what they'll get. But to me, having all of my Alaskans want the Alaska box, that's been the biggest surprise and the biggest compliment. So, which is no wonder. I mean, listen to me. I can't even stop talking about it. I should let you guys get a word in.
No. Honestly, I think it's absolutely amazing. And something you said at the beginning was that the one thing that this has done is given us all space to really do the things that because how long have you been thinking about putting the Alaska box together and sending out, because you do it 4 times a year, people subscribe, you send it out each season so people get it, what a great surprise. You just subscribe and then voila, each season you get a piece of Alaska, because Alaska smells and tastes and looks completely different every season, right? How long have you been thinking about that?
We've had these actual boxes for about 5 years. And it's been this project. Another thing that was a bit of a barrier is these items are so special that we could never have enough of them, to sell them in the store and then be able to provide them in a subscription box. We could never get enough of them because they're also handmade. And so another opportunity of time this year is our artists had more time. Because these things take so long, everything is handmade. And so now they have time to, to make enough treasures for us to have on our shelves this year, and then also to go out to the world. But it's not something that you can just call and say, I need 144 more. It doesn't work that way. So that's been
exclusive. It's so exclusive and it's so special. I mean, you can go anywhere and you can buy. Jason, you and I did a video that's on our YouTube channel. We talked for about 30 minutes on Alaska, and we could have talked for longer. And you said it perfectly when you said that, you don't go to Alaska to buy a fridge magnet and a t-shirt that's been made in China. Well, you might, but
You can.
You can. It's not the place, is it, Jason?
No, and that's why I'm so thrilled about your Alaska box, because you're supporting your artists, and you always have, Laura. You always have. That's been the core of your business. But I mean, you're supporting artists at the time when artists really need to be supported, because I have a lot of friends who love the Alaska video and are so excited about the Alaska box, but artists and potters and painters and creative people are not marketers and are not very good at selling, generally speaking, selling their own products. So to have such a champion for Alaskan artists is tremendously important to me. And when I was promoting what people could buy in Alaska, I was always adamant about making sure that it was made in Alaska, because one of the things that Melissa and I were saying earlier is when I look through all my jewelry pieces and things, I bought beautiful totems last year. I've got gold nuggets. I've beautiful handmade Christmas decorations that I bought from you in 2005. Do you remember the little angels, the little wooden ones with the little mink?
Yes, you still have those.
Oh, got those. So I always want to buy something that makes a meaning for me. I'm not a fridge magnet type person, although you have some amazing ones. Those candles, oh my goodness. I was forever in the store last season, having my little fix with the candles and trying to stay away from the fudge. I'm diabetic and I shouldn't be eating all that stuff, but it's just so good. But I love the wide, and what I also really love is the fact that you've got something for literally everybody in nearly every price range.
Yes.
So you've got unique, one-of-a-kind art pieces that belong in museums because of their quality, but you've also got a beautiful bar of Alaskan chocolate, and that's $6-7 that somebody can still take away. That's really, really about where they've been. And when you sit on that, I used to bring a little slab back and go and sit on the back deck when we did sail away and have chocolate as we sailed out. Beautiful.
And isn't that just part of the beauty of what we get to do, is make things accessible? That in what world could you just all of a sudden sail up to Juneau, Alaska, and take 2 steps off the gangway, and all of a sudden you're eating a king crab leg, and you're smelling a beach bonfire? And this kind of access that our visitor industry allows people to these remote places where, if you were to try to come to Alaska and see everything you see from that balcony, to sail by glaciers and get into Haines and Skagway and Juneau and Ketchikan, you'd have to hire a bush plane and spend a month and a fortune trying to do that. And so this kind of access that allows everybody the opportunity to see, smell, and taste and feel what it's like to be here, access, that has always been important to us. And so, I always have been worried, don't ever call us don't use the word gallery too much, because I never wanted to intimidate people into feeling like they would have to come in here and, buy a woolly mammoth tusk, which we have, for $2,000, when we've always really wanted to make it accessible to everybody. That's one of our main priorities.
So if someone wants to subscribe, I'm going to put you on the spot now, because here we are, it's the 11th of December.
Oh, we need to hurry.
I know. So I'm going to put you on the spot. And please tell me off later. If someone wanted to subscribe and get one for Christmas, if they lived in the United States, could you get it to them?
Absolutely. So I just got here's what I love about our little local post office. It's Kindred Post, like our neighbors. They sent out an email last night to everyone in the community that says, here are your shipping deadlines. So December 15th is your last day to order for domestic shipping, to make sure that it's going to get to you on time. And my local postman pulls up on the sidewalk every day, because he knows that he's going to be loading all these Alaska boxes. And I always give him a piece of chocolate too, because
that's why
it's a lot of boxes. But every day he's picking them up every day. So as they as they come in, we're sending them out. And I've got my little 3-year-old elf that, is my little assistant with her Santa hat on, and I can keep her out of the chocolate. So December 15th is the last day if it's for Christmas. Of course, until January 1st, you can sign up, and this will be your first Alaska box. And then if you sign up after January 1st at www.thealaskabox.com, if you sign up to subscribe after January 1st, then your first box will be the springtime Alaska box, which ships March 1st. So,
okay, great.
Already so exciting. I already am like, and it's, so I can't tell you guys what's in it, but
I know that's what I love about it, though. That's actually what I love about it. It's almost like it's a Christmas gift to me. So I don't know what's going to be in it, but I know it's going to be amazing. But you also support an amazing, real quick, a jewelry artist called Lisa McCormick, right?
Oh, so Lisa, I actually, this is what.
Oh, wow.
Lisa's she's a retired commercial fisherwoman on Kodiak Island. And she's completely hand-taught. She started out pounding out silver with a bowling ball. I mean, that's just how she started. And now she's been, courted by the Smithsonian, and she only sells her work at Caribou Crossings. She only sells her work here in Alaska at Caribou Crossings because each piece is hand-carved and it's handmade. And she takes that spirit of Alaska and embodies it in a way that you watch people connect with this jewelry, and it's like they just weep sometimes at this jewelry.
Oh, wow.
Because she spent her life on the water and in a small Alaskan community of Kodiak, and this is her vessel. This is her language. Like Jason said, artists they don't have the best time usually selling their jewelry because it's like a piece of their soul that you're just putting out there for people to see. And that's what this feels like when you get to experience Lisa McCormick's jewelry. So yes, her work is not online, but we do sell one on, I've been sending pictures all over the world all month. That's right. They start calling, when's the Lisa McCormick holiday show? And it's here right now. So thank goodness for text messages, because I'm not allowed to put her work online. She just does not like it out there in that way. Pretty special.
I know. So if somebody wants to, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it in the comments because I didn't put your, if somebody wants to contact you, they would just email you.
Yes, and our website is the best place, cariboucrossings.com, because it has our email form on there, and it does have, a Lisa McCormick picture that's like, email us for this, but all of our contact information is right there on the website, and we have a great holiday shop up online too. So all kinds of
it's so good.
Decorations.
You've done a lot of work on that website. You guys have been really busy. And I would imagine this Alaska box, because it's so unique and you're using handmade products, that likely would be a cutoff point to how many people you could have subscribed to that box, right?
It is. Yeah. And we're getting close. For example, the candles, because they're made with such special essential oils, I can't get more of them. So once it's like, so there's a lot of things. Yeah, we're almost there. So each subscription does have its own limit. And then as time goes, I'm going to try to expand that. But honestly, I think it just, the nature of the box is so exclusive that when it's done, when it's sold out, it's going to be sold out.
Well, that's why I think it's a genius. Because, Jason, you said it perfectly. Artistic people they don't sell their own stuff. They're not natural marketers. That's why I feel you, Laura, as a conduit. And this idea is so great because it's seasonal. So everyone knows that once the winter product is gone, you'll then turn to the spring and then the summer and then the autumn, and then you can start all over again. So those people will continue to get a very unique, very well curated box. Is that the right word? See, when I'm
curated, yes.
I try and use words and it doesn't always work out. So.
Well, and Alaska for us our life is so engrossed in the seasons. We have the salmon run in the fall, and that's where we subsist to fill our freezers for the winter. And, the visitors come in the spring, and the northern lights come out in the winter, and the lakes freeze over in the winter. And that's how, we turn them into roads. And that's how you get from one village to another. Our whole life revolves around the seasons here. And so something like this it makes it even more fun because each season has its own life in Alaska. It really does.
I can see you having a wait list for this, honestly. I can see you having a wait list. So if anyone's watching this, definitely go to the Alaska box. This is the launch. The 2020 has been the launch of this baby of yours that you've thought of 5 years ago. And so everyone really should subscribe to this. But I have to tell you something. Something that I don't know if you've heard of them, the Cruise Amigos, Pete, John, and Chili have put together this great charity called Support a Port. And what people do is there's millions of cruisers that are stuck at home at the moment, really want to get back on board a ship. They just want to get back on board the ship, and the ships are becoming one of the safest places to be on a cruise. And so they put together this charity, and it's really to raise money and awareness about the different ports of call. And we did a show about 3 weeks ago about Whittier, Alaska. And we talked to a lady there, and she was telling about the longshoremen that weren't working. And the community is a very small community up there, right, Laura, in Whittier?
Yeah.
And Pete just sent me a message before we went on air, and he said that they raised $260
Wow.
for support. Yeah, and I believe last time I spoke to Pete, they're going to buy little Christmas presents for all the kids.
Oh,
in Whittier. I know. It's a great charity. So I mean, I know you're there in the store and you're getting ready for next summer to welcome the guests back because they're going to come back. How do you feel people have coped with the lack of that revenue? Because you guys make your money in a short period of time, 5 months, from May till September. Mm-hmm. How do you think people have coped without that?
It's been pretty devastating. Devastating. There have been some businesses that just simply haven't been able to survive. And a lot of our restaurants, especially, this has been such a hard time for them. And for us, it's in our little corner. We don't have more time. So if we don't get to if our guests don't get to come back, the landscape will change so much because we will lose so much of our little tiny businesses like that, that have been here for 40 years, 30 years, the family owned businesses, and then the artists that they support, the seafood producers. It's such a supply chain of what goes into a vibrant little visitor community like Juneau. And it's been devastating. We have, all of our holiday markets, of course, are shut down. And for an artist who produces all year to sell everything, for a couple months in the summer and then one show in the winter, and if that's all gone at once, that's an entire year. For us, it's 20 months without any business. And it's just for small businesses. It's not something that we can sustain. But I am on the list to do one of the very first West Coast cruises where they're allowing guests on board to test out all the protocols and
really
like, sign me up. I'm just dying to get out and get on board and experience and travel again. And I'm reading what they're doing and how incredibly safe it is. And I'd rather be there than the grocery store. So I'm just so excited. And I hope I'm on a waiting list. I really hope I do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, my God, that would be amazing. Yeah, you're right. I just watched a video that Emma Cruises put out about there was a case on a Royal Caribbean ship in Singapore, and the media went nuts. Oh, hi, Tom. Tom's here. Check it out. Hi, Tom. Hi, Tom. Tom would have been in Alaska this summer. Oh, honey, you have to come on the show. I want Tom on the show. So what was the saying?
We were talking about getting back on cruises, getting back on the sea.
I remember. Emma Cruises, she is amazing. You should watch her. She has a YouTube channel. She does 16-second briefings and things like that. Anyway, she was saying she reported on the case that the media just went nuts about in Singapore. And Singapore has got the lowest number of cases. So the guy caught it before he got on board the ship. So the media always makes out all these people caught it on board the ship. It's impossible. Like you said, Laura, you're more likely of catching it in the grocery store, but no one goes, oh my God, the grocery store, they gave that person coronavirus. No.
Right? Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. And to me, it's just common sense. You know, if the safety protocols are so immense that it's like, just as common sense, but there's a perception problem and there's a media problem. And what people don't realize is behind that big media story, just to get that 24-hour news cycle, these are real people's lives, little tiny communities that rely on our visitors and depend on our cruise industry and miss everybody so much just for our own mental health. It's like, there are real people beneath all of that and what this industry supports and who it lifts up. And I just feel like that the perception, the disconnect in truth and reality is just something everybody needs to be aware of and needs to try to dispel on their own.
Oh, totally. Totally. And that's why I like watching people like Emma Cruises, because actually and the reason why they found out he had it, because they test everybody all the time. And then it turned out to be false.
Yeah.
You know, but where is that in the news?
Right.
You know? So yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. What these cruise lines have invested in time and money is bonkers. I mean, it is bonkers. And it's like, if they had a cruise ship tomorrow, I would go on it. If I could get on a ship in Southampton, I would be on it straight away.
Let me. I mean, they have former surgeon generals sitting on their advisory panels creating these protocol. I mean, it's like our own governments aren't doing what these cruise lines are doing. So it's so impressive. Yeah, I'm just dying to go. Like, please let me on board.
I know, me too. And we will be back next year. They started vaccinating people. And actually, the lady that got vaccinated first in the world, she's up the road from me at Southmead Hospital. So, same for her.
Go rub elbows with her.
I'll give her a hug. Oh my God, I miss
antibodies.
Right. But I know everyone's busy, but I've just got one last thing I want to say. We have been doing a little Christmas Advent calendar, which has been so much fun, because we're asking people to, there it is along the bottom. Basically, you nominate. We have all this amazing Larimar and silver jewelry. I mean, we really should have some Alaska jewelry next year, maybe from Laura. But but yeah, if you just comment, if you nominate, we've had people nominate their nieces who work in the National Health Service. We've had people who've nominated a neighbor who has been struggling with cancer. She's clear now, but she's had a tough year. We've had people nominate their mothers who just really miss cruising. And actually, we have a lady who won the whale, and she said that her mother really missed her Alaskan cruise. But this week, today, actually, people can win this. Where is it gone? Oh, it's disappeared. But anyway, here it is. Oh, no, here it is. Watch this. Watch a little video. My niece did this. This is day 11 of the Advent calendar, and they can win this cute whale. Oh, isn't it great? That's by Mar-a-Lago, Larimar.
We had humpbacks in our channel yesterday, right in front of the store.
No way.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I really miss Alaska so much. I just saw somebody walk by your store. Your store. I know you said not gallery, store. And I just saw them, and I remember I would walk down, because I was there one winter, and it is cold, and there's a coffee shop, isn't there, across the way? What's it called again? Heritage.
Heritage, yes.
Oh, I want a coffee from Heritage.
And there's something so special about that in the snow, isn't there? With warm coffee and a scarf and the snow. It's pretty magical. And right now, all the Christmas lights are up. The holiday lights are up.
Oh, I love it. Have you got a fire at home? Do you have a fire?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, I won't keep you. I could talk to you for hours, but I know that you're a very busy lady because you've got Alaska boxes to put out.
You have to get back to the post office.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the office. It's got the most gorgeous, quirky things inside. Oh, yes, Liz.
And Liz is here.
Danger.
Did you know, Liz, you worked at Diamonds International in Juneau?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Liz. Sorry, I didn't see your face. There you are. Yes.
Oh,
Her name.
We have to have Liz on the show as well. Yeah, I miss it so much. Let's all go back next year on a cruise.
That would
Okay.
be fabulous.
I'll jump on board in Juneau, and then I could do the rest of the itinerary with you. That's always. Please come back.
Oh, we will. We will be back next year with a vengeance, and we will be sending everyone to Caribou Crossing to shop for some of the most authentic, made in Alaska, handmade in Alaska, unique items. And actually, I wrote a blog on Christmas in Alaska because everyone buys all their Christmas ornaments. They buy their salmon. They buy Alaska's. Even though people go in the summer, it is very Christmassy, isn't it?
Yes, I have Christmas trees in the store all year round, because you're just surrounded by pine trees and everyone's so joyful and happy, and there's always snow on the mountains. And but Christmas in Alaska too is absolutely something special, and you get to feel that even in July.
I know, Christmas in July. I love it. And I was going to say to you, both of you, you can eat all the kettle corn and kettle chips and chocolate and salmon and king crab as much as you want with that draw butter, because you can hike. You can go on a big hike.
Exactly. And then when you get to the top of the mountain, you can have an Alaskan amber, and that's the best reward after a hike, isn't it? To sit up there.
Oh my God, Alaskan amber. That's a beer, isn't it? Like a lager, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're making me want to get on an airplane right now and come over there.
Well, and I think the best part is when you come in here to see us, then you get to see us. So we have beautiful items in the store, but really you get to come hang out with the Boo Crew, and we want to hear your stories, and we want to know what's going on out there, and we want to hear about your beer at the top of the mountain. And that's part of the fun, I think, is just getting to come and hang with us, because our staff is entirely local. So
yes,
special.
Always.
Yes, that's another thing, actually. Whenever I didn't know the answer to something, I used to just say, go to Caribou Crossings. They're local. They know everything.
It's true. We're the ambassadors of Juneau right here.
Exactly. Oh, Laura, thank you so much for coming on the show. Jason, you too. Thank you so much for your time. One last time, I'll put it up. Don't forget to subscribe for the Alaska Box on thealaskabox.com. Visit Caribou Crossings as well. And we're going to have one more show, which is Christmas special next week. Talking to a very special guest. Christina Cox is going to come on the show next week. So we'll be talking about, because Christina and I go way back, too far back to mention. Apparently she's got some memories of our time on ships that I can't remember, so I'm a bit worried. But
thank goodness it was long media when we started.
Yes.
Yes. But listen, guys, have an amazing Christmas, Laura. Thank you so much for putting together the Alaska Box. Thank you so much for your time. We love you. We can't wait to see you next summer.
It was so lovely to see your faces. I can't wait for that big giant hug next time. Misses you dearly. So we're here waiting. We're just right here, and in the meantime, we'll just come to you. So
cool. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Anybody watching this, put some comments in the box, and Laura or Jason or myself will be able to answer them. Whatever you do, have a great weekend. Bye.
Everybody.